Okay, we're doing.
Is that better than normal good?
Yeah, that's amazing. We're doing our top 5 anime villains list here. Lists quickly made. Well, for me today, Blucksy also today, Jacob like 3 years ago or something. I'm not too sure. So you've probably thought about it more than we have. But yeah, I'm joined by Blucksy and RedGocco, also known as Jacob, as you can see on the screen.
Hello.
Did you guys have a tough time making this list or not?
So we're joined by Blucksy, Red, and Andrew, also known as Sib.
That's a great answer, Jacob. Thank you.
I hated answering what a villain was.
Answering, yeah. To be fair, it's pretty difficult because um, there's like a lot of characters that end up doing evil in the attempt of doing good and that kind of stuff. So
I'm trying to avoid going into mixing villains and antagonists because if we do, we won't have, that topic later.
yeah, okay. Well, um, that should be that. Do we have any honorable mentions maybe from you, Red Gokka?
Yeah, so Scotty messaged me in DMs, so no one can confirm except for him and me. He really likes Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, uh, and he hates the one in Abridged.
He hates the one in
Um,
abridged.
yeah, he hates that one. Um, the main thing Frieza does in the show is basically be an evil dictator. In the sort of first main arc, I would say. I count the Saiyan story as part of the Frieza story because it's all about space aliens and shit. Um, but if you want to count them separately, he's part of the second arc. Doesn't really do much himself, but he orders people around. As for my personal honorable mention, I only sort of have one, and I don't actually remember the name, but it's the main villain from Erased, which is a mystery show.
Is that a horror show?
So I guess it's both. But point is, since it's a mystery who the villain is, I shouldn't reveal the name regardless. But let's just say that this villain does a lot of quite twisted shit in order to achieve their goal.
Wait, so if the villain is a mystery, we should hide the person. We
I
would just
I
say
mean,
like the villain in the show.
since it's an honorable mention, I feel like that's fine. Otherwise, we can be a bit more specific.
Well, like I have like a mystery show that has a villain, and I wanna and in my top 5, they're they're in my top 5. So should I like mention who it is, or should I just say the villain of the show?
Okay, just if it ruins the entire show in your opinion, just say like give them yeah, just call them the villain of the show or use like a synonym or something like um an alias that they might use like this ex murderer or something.
I'm just thinking about whether it spoils a lot or not.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I
well, I'll ask Bluxy actually. Do you think I should mention the evil character from When They Cry?
Yes,
That's fine. I can say the name.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll mention it later then.
Igarashi is a shorthand for other people who might not have seen the show.
Yeah, Higurashi is another name for it. So what was that? Was that your honorable mentions done?
Yeah, basically.
All right, we can go over to Black Suit if you have one.
I have no honorable mentions.
Okay. That's understandable. Do I have an honorable mention? Wait, I'm gonna see if I can make up one
No, no,
really quickly.
no, Andrew, you don't get to ask yourself. I'm asking, do you have an honorable mention?
Uh, there's this one character, right? They're just really, really cool. That's the only way I can describe them. Like they're just really cool. Do you know which character that is? No?
No.
They're really, really cool.
As
Like
an
they're
honorable mention.
they're really cool.
Really cool.
They're
Oh,
really cool.
I know. It's Dr. Doofenshmirtz, isn't it?
No, they're like really cool, and they're also from Dragon Ball Z, but they're like really cool.
I have no way to know this then.
Bro, that's ice cold. I heard his brother's called Frieza.
No,
I
no. I have them right here, Andrew. I know why it's Dr. Doofenshmirtz. It's here. That's a 17 clip, just 17-second clip.
No, my honorable mention, I guess I don't really have one, but I just wanna give him an honorable mention. I suppose is Cooler, which is Frieza's brother, simply superior in every way, and he has a cool transformation. As for a character, not too in depth because they only have like a standalone movie, really. Well, a second one as well, but that one's really bad. And the movie is not
I was
that great
kind
either.
of going to comment about you saying superior in every way, but then you specified not character-wise.
Oh yeah, not character-wise. They just look cooler.
Yeah,
Hence the name.
and also has cooler abilities, but yeah.
Yeah, they have
I've
some
thought
cool
of
stuff.
I've thought up an honorable mention.
Oh yeah.
You know, the character that Connor from CWA plays. They are my honorable mention. I don't remember their name. I should actually check.
Oh, you mean evil white-haired elf man from
Yes.
show? I don't even know. I can't remember. Spirit Chronicles? Is it called something like that?
Yes, it is.
Me and Andrew are watching it very slowly together. I think we watched 6 episodes, maybe. Not really.
Yeah, not sure to be honest.
Not,
We watched
not,
a amount of episodes.
He's not done that much evil stuff yet. He's just sort of gone around talking to people and smiling slightly creepily.
He has done nothing good, but purely because Connor played him, that makes him amazing.
Yeah.
I put.
And mentioning CWA will just increase the search engine optimization for this video.
Honestly, true.
Oh yeah. Surely
I
intentional.
put Cooler in the
It's-
chat, by the way. You can see
Yeah.
Cooler right there. Look, doesn't he look cool?
Well, that's his full form, but it's not the form you usually see him in. To be
He
fair.
feels like he'd be a poison type Pokemon.
Poison type Pokemon. He does kind of look like that, doesn't he?
Poison ground, or poison insect.
That's our honorable mentions done. Though from what it seems like, they were not that honorable. Jacob, what is your number 5?
My number 5, the character known as Lelouch Vibetrania from the show Code Geass.
Can you type that in the chat, bro?
Sure.
So the main character from Code Geass, yes?
Just do that, otherwise it'd be too long to fit in the thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. I haven't seen Code Geass, so you can blabber
Yeah.
out.
So yeah, this is the main character. We follow him, and he starts off the show by making people die, and then he follows that up by theft. Grand Theft Auto, to be specific, if we would charge him with modern day crimes. Yeah, we follow him. He has justifiable reasons for almost everything he does, which is why he's so far down on my list. And he's mainly up here because he's a good character, in my opinion. But he still has done some evil shit. Some by accident, some by intentionally doing them. Usually for what he considers to be the greater good, although his morals are kind of flaky at times. So yeah, he drives the plot forward as both the our protagonist, but also as our main sort of force for change, I would say. And the most evil thing he did was making a peaceful activist basically become a mass murderer to further his goals. And yeah, I don't think I'll elaborate on that much because it's a great show and you should watch it. But yeah, basically every episode he does something at least debatably evil and usually much worse.
Okay. Did you would you say Lelouch is like the best, if not like top two characters of the show, like kind of carrying the show, if you will?
Yeah, I have a personal favorite, which is another character. Um,
Yeah.
but I would say, in terms of quality of character writing, he's like in the top three. I haven't really thought of which one of these three would be top necessarily, but there's definitely very good writing persons in all of his actions and story.
Yeah. I haven't seen the show, but I know you hold the show in high regard. Have you seen it, Blucksy?
No, I don't think so.
It's
Okay.
not a new one, so it's probably not.
Yeah,
Is it
Blucksy only watches shows that came out in 2020. Yeah.
19 or 2020?
No.
Sorry?
Wait, you asked if Code Geass came out in 2019 or after.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
came out in like 2008.
Gosh,
Oh, yeah.
that's old.
Yeah, that's not that old. Alright.
Older than like 7/8 of all the anime I've watched.
Well, I think that's good enough explanation. I don't think any of you have any information about the character that could sort of make you think that maybe they aren't a villain, so we could probably just move on to Blucksy.
Yep.
So, my number 5, I put accelerator from a certain scientific a certain magical index.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is.
Can you link me the show?
I started the show and I haven't finished it, but I remember that name.
Yeah, basically, it's a show about magic and science and
No
stupid
way.
powers.
Is that a
This character, basically, they are very evil in the pursuit of becoming even more powerful than the strongest person in the world. They kill 10,000 clones and were planning to kill 10,000 more before they were stopped. But they have quite a good recovery arc afterwards where he starts saving the clones rather than killing them. Which, I mean, good development. Number 5.
Okay,
like
so would you say they're
Obi-Wan.
like whenever they're relevant in the show, would you say they're like a big driving force of like the plot?
For the first season, they definitely are. They then become more of like a supporting character after that, and they get their own series. So
Sometimes people consider like age a big factor in like sometimes they act out and redemption arcs are usually them maturing somewhat. Would you consider this to be a factor at all in this character's sort of actions?
yeah, yeah. I could see it that way.
Wait, I've seen that you gave the anime itself a 6 out of 10. Would you say that this character is like a big carry? That's like way more interesting than the majority of the characters.
I'd like to say the characters were all good. I just got completely lost during the show and couldn't figure out what was happening.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
It is a
Okay.
2008 anime.
What? And you haven't watched Code Geass? Okay.
That doesn't make much sense, does it?
Sus.
That is weird. Okay, my number 5 is the one we were mentioning earlier. I'll link the anime. Well, I guess I'll link season 1 of the anime, just in case you aren't aware what the show is about. But it's from Higurashi, also known as When They Cry. And they are called. Let me check. They're called Mio Takano. Let me write her down.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is like a big mystery anime, and I'm not gonna say like necessarily leads the whole plot, but she's one of the pawns of the plot, and I find her interesting because the only reason she's really doing this is just because like someone they cared about ended up in a certain situation, and she just wanted to like um not like not like have revenge, but they wanted to like avenge, I guess, like their goal. They wanted to fill out their goal, which they weren't able to fulfill themselves,
Mm.
and kind of just like wanted to sacrifice anything to achieve that goal. So
So, like the main driving force for this character would be like grief, and another sad emotion.
yeah, kind of, yeah. She just wants to fulfill that goal and willing to sacrifice anything and anybody to do so. Definitely like also a character that kind of hides in plain sight in the sense of, befriends the people that she ends up you know, trying to use, let's just say. Well, it looks like betrayal, but at the end of the day, they're just trying to use you to attain her goal. So, but yeah, she's not actually evil, but in heart, like in reality, it's just she ends up going down a dark path due to her life being as chaotic as it was.
Mm. So, just FYI, this sort of her part in the story isn't really explored until the second season, or is it? Is,
Uh, yeah, I mean, you get to learn a bit in season 1. It just doesn't go into her background and that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, mostly in season 2. So yeah, that's my number 5 pick. Do we have any like? Do we think this is not even a villain? Are we saying this is a bad villain? What are you saying?
I would say, since it's been like 5 billion years since I watched this, um, I can't actually, uh, I can't say that I consider them necessarily a villain, but it's more because I don't actually remember what parts of it they were responsible for, rather than actually disagreeing. It's just I don't remember.
I
No,
would consider them a sub-villain, not an actual villain, you know?
a sub villain, right? Is this like an imaginary word? Like what's going
This
on?
is a word I'm making up.
Right.
It's like
They're the
Ginyu.
villain, but like they're not really the villain.
But they are
Ginyu
like
Sentai.
they're not the villain, but they're one of the like driving forces. Like without her, the gears don't turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True,
Like
but like
she has to be evil to make the gears turn.
It's like Setsu, you know,
Like if you take
very
advantage
oh
necessary
of
wait, no,
like
no,
character.
no, wait. So I was thinking of a different character for a second. They are definitely the main villain.
Were you thinking about
what
Rika?
character were you thinking of? Wait,
She
you
was
did
think,
DM me.
she was thinking about Rika Faraday, surely.
No, no, no. No comment. No comments.
Who are
Oh.
you thinking of?
Are you
No
thinking about a
comment.
different show?
No comment. No comment. Yeah,
Maybe
they all blend into one after a while.
they all blend into one after a while. Wait,
Yeah.
there's nobody that is like her. I don't what?
Let's move on.
Yeah. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Right, yeah,
It's
moving
clear
on.
Blux agrees with you. So
Yeah. Right, Jacob, what's your number 4? If we don't have any
number
discussion.
4. This character is, I'd say, a fairly well-known character in the Andrew Sib community, or at least the show that this person appears in, or shows, I should say. My number 4 is Kotomine Kirei.
No way. The fate versus star.
We have the priest from Fate Zero and the head priest from Fate Stay Night and their variants. So he starts off as a mini priest and becomes big priest at the end. I'll mainly focus on his acts during Zero because that's when he's at his most evil. Like uh, in Stay Night and all the variants, he's just kind of there to sort of be a minor antagonist sometimes when he feels like it.
He was a
Otherwise
big deal in Heaven's Feel Fate's Day Night. But
yeah, until
I do think he was a bad character in that
yeah,
series.
and then he kind of like doesn't he also kind of U-turns on a few things to not spoil anything. Yeah. So in Zero, he's part of let's call it the bad team that decides to intentionally cheat, aligning two masters, which are people who control historical characters or mythical characters, in seven what's it called, free for all mages and historical figures battling as a team of two. His team intentionally cheats, putting four people in the same thing, or quite a lot, considering his assassin character is just everyone. And as soon as he realizes he enjoys hurting other people, he just goes off the deep end, like almost instantly. He tortures two women because they're vaguely related to someone he wants to ask a question to. He continues to torture one of them later. He murders someone who he was friends with because they were slightly vocally objecting to him being a dick. And then he tortures a person who was tortured by their family who wants to do stuff for the greater good, making him a murderer, and also prolonging his torturer's life whilst he's being eaten by insects. And also his healing process seems to hurt him more than the insects do. So yay. And in what's it called? Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, he molests someone slightly. Not going in the entire way, but being in that sort of direction. And just kills people because he thinks it's fun. So yeah, he both breaks the rules of the game and also breaks the law quite a lot.
Does go a bit loony at the end, a bit crazy.
Yep.
Have any of us seen Hunter x Hunter?
No.
I haven't. No.
That's actually crazy. We have 3 people who've watched a lot of anime that haven't watched Hunter. That's actually crazy.
Both of you have watched double the amount of anime as me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you've watched
not
quadruple the amount of anime that I've watched, like from the year 2022 and blah blah blah. So yeah, take that. No, apparently since we haven't watched Hunter, Ahmad, we do not have Meruem on our list, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint you. That's one of the biggest Hunter villain, I assume. He saw Meruem vent. Yeah, no way. So Jacob, did you finish your reasoning for Kotomini?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if someone disagrees with him, being a villain rather than more of an antagonist. And I had some justification.
Yeah, I think he's a villain.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, I guess I can see why you'd be confused whether he is or not, but I think he's a good villain. But I will say that I think there's a better villain in that show, so that's all I'll say.
He's so evil that he, in Zero at least, he's so evil that the embodiment of evil thinks that he's worth keeping alive because he'll keep continuing his work. And I assume you think Gilgamesh is a better villain, but I consider Gilgamesh to be an antagonist, and I can justify that later. But now is probably not a good time.
All right. Well, we'll move on to Bluksy's number 4 then.
Number 4.
Okay, number 4 was the barbecue footlet. No, it was Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. I'm assuming you don't need to know what show. I'm assuming you've all seen the show.
No.
I've seen I've actually only seen the first season, so I haven't seen him done anything evil. So feel
I've made
free
an
to-
agreement with the devil that I will never watch Attack on Titan.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I just don't feel like it.
Wait,
Did I type
But it's a
Jaeger
good
correctly,
show.
by the way? Or is it with
Maybe?
a Y?
No, it was with a J, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks wrong somehow. I'll just check.
Oh no, it is with a Y.
It has
And
both.
E is
It has both
Yeah.
from what I see.
well,
Oh,
yeah. If it's
yeah.
with a Y, the E is before the A, but otherwise, if it's with a J, it's the other way around. I don't know. It seems
How
way-
inconsistent. So,
Yeah.
he is very obviously a villain. That is, like, undeniable. He,
Okay,
like,
but
Isn't
please
he the
explain
main
why.
character? Is that the main character?
He's the main
he-
character in the first season, at least.
in the first season, he was the main character. In the last season, without spoiling too much, he likes murder.
He likes murder.
I mean, so do a lot of good guys. I mean, fucking Goku, you know. One
And I'm
Punch
pretty
Man.
sure
You have
Eren
to be
Yeager
more.
won.
You have to
They
be more
won the
specific.
award, didn't they? They won the
Yeah, but-
award for antagonists of the year or something last year.
Yeah, but liking murder is not. You have to justify it more, Blucksy. I'm sorry.
Do they?
He took
Yes.
part in a very large, indiscriminate murder.
Very large. How large are we talking?
Like 4 people.
I don't want to like spoil season 4 for anyone who hasn't watched it. Is it season 4? The final season. I don't want to spoil it for
So,
anyone
so
who's
the main
not watched it.
character. Well, they were the main character. Very important, strong guy, and he betrays everyone, kills everyone. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like in like a ballpark estimate, like would it be like between 30 and 50 people he killed? Would it be like between 30 and 100?
Oh. The
Uh,
ballpark spoils it, to be honest.
Okay, but let's just say, in this case, does he do it for personal gain, or does he do it because he thinks there's a greater good?
He does
Yeah.
it because he thinks it's the only way for the people on the island to survive.
I see.
Okay. So he does it for what he assumes to be the greater good.
For the
Or at
greater
least-
good of
or at
his
least-
group of people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
So
see.
it's like
Willing to make sacrifices.
it's like the Emperor, I guess, from Star Wars.
The Emperor,
Mm.
that's different.
He uses his Death Star to only destroy people that will, he's doing it for the great good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When he's laughing, it's just because of the funny jokes he thinks about.
Yep, 100%. No, seems like a good pick to me. I've seen Eren Yeager said a lot when talking about evil characters and that kind of stuff, antagonists as well. So seems like a common name in this type of situation. But we'll move on to my number 4. Let me alt tab to see how many what my number 4 is. My number 4.
Sorry, wait. I have a final question to Blucksy. Are they
Okay.
the villain throughout the show, or is it just like
just
few
the final
episodes?
season.
No, but
The
like
final season. The entire
the entire
final
season. Okay, yeah, cool.
Well, no, the
That's all
second
I-
half of the final season.
Yeah, okay.
Mine's
So,
from
like-
Naruto.
Anarch.
Can you guess which one I have from Naruto, Jacob?
Okay, well, since we
I
had a
would
rule
not
about
know.
only one,
Yeah.
my guess is that it's going to be an Uchiha.
All right, you're wrong
I feel
because
like-
it's Orochimaru.
Ah,
There we go.
oh, that's actually. Oh my god, I really like that.
You do.
I'm happy that you chose.
They're
not an Uchiha.
actually not that evil because the reason they commit crimes is because they're just really into science is what I take from the show anyways. Would you say that's right, Jacob?
Well, so just to
And like self like
yeah,
prosperity and
to,
that kind of stuff.
to just to okay, so to explain to everyone who hasn't watched, Orochimaru is like a very pale snake person in from Naruto who basically goads one of our protagonists to path of darkness. A bit like what would be a good example? The Emperor again, I guess. But yeah,
Have you just rewatched Star Wars, Gokko?
no, I don't have many examples in my brain at the moment. I don't know why. But yeah, and he, well, I would completely agree with Andrew. Orochimaru just does science and stuff. It's not like he, stage a coup against one village, the Sand Village, whilst also making up a completely new village, which he called the Sound Village. And then it's not like he, did a fucking civil war in the Leaf Village where he killed a bunch of people after posing as, the Sand Village leader and goading Gaara into becoming like a monster. Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't know.
No, but like,
Good guy.
they're really not that evil, cause like, as long as he's able to like, I don't know, get as long as he gets everything he wants, he won't kill you.
Except for, he definitely intended to kill Sarutobi. That was just,
That was on accident,
Oh yeah, that was on accident. He just accidentally staged himself as the fucking Sand Leader and then the Kazekage, and then he just accidentally closed them into an indestructible bubble, and then summoned the mentors of Sarutobi to battle him. That was. It wasn't pre-planned revenge. It was just, it was accident.
Alright, maybe he's a bit more evil than I originally remembered. But he's a really cool villain because he's unlike majority of villains in Naruto, where he's not like an Uchiha and he's gonna have this giant Sharingan, though he does try to get a Sharingan through more experience. But yeah, he's also just like, he's unlike the norm in Naruto in terms of villains, and they also seem to never really die. They just like, they seem to be the only one that can just like be beaten 500 million times, but yet somehow he always comes back.
And they also, unlike like people who sometimes people lose body parts in Naruto, and they have to get like special grafts of the first Hokage's cells. Orochimaru just spits himself out of his own mouth, and he's just fully healed. So yeah, pretty OP to say. But he basically experiments on a bunch of people before he actually leaves the Konoha. He only leaves because he's discovered, and one of these he experiments on a bunch of children, only one of which survives because he wants to graft the Hashirama cells into them. I don't know about you saying, oh yeah, he's just not
That's experiments.
Yeah.
And anything for the cause. Kids. Yeah, exactly. It's all for the experiment. I mean, I'm not saying he's a good guy.
You're just saying he's very neutral.
all of his evils are driven by his experiments, is what I mean.
Except for killing Sarutobi and
some exceptions are in place.
Some exceptions.
Well, I think that was a good pick, Orochimaru.
I mean, sure. I think it's a good pick. He definitely fits in my opinion. It's like the biggest bad of the first part of Naruto, but he's also he does stuff for his experiments, sure, but like he usually gets bored of his experiments and then just lock them up in like a test tube or like a cell somewhere, like he did with Yu-Gi-Oh.
He's a busy man. He's doing new experiments. Once one experiment is getting old, he's gone. He's doing another one. It's like
The
having a
reason why he
child on
did
accident.
the reason why he didn't fucking fix his own arms is because he just got bored of doing that, probably.
Yeah.
He clearly could do it. Like when he met Sasuke again, they just sort of went and fixed his arms instantly. He just it's just kind of stupid. Um, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's my number
Sure.
4.
Fair enough. I've said my piece about arguing with. Yeah, I thought Ramen Guy would have been an excellent Naruto choice. Um,
Do you have someone on
okay.
Naruto on your list? Can I ask you?
I didn't, but I kind of wanted to have one of them on my honorable mentions, but then I forgot to write my honorable mentions. So yeah, here we are.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. All right. I'll leave you to your number 3.
My number 3.
Is there's
I
no way.
put no,
I,
it's not. I was just joking.
for for clarification, he just put Seto Kaiba, the Yu-Gi-Oh character, in the
Very
chat.
evil, you know. No, this is a very hard name to pronounce, so I won't even try.
Try it. Come on. Put it down, and then try to pronounce it.
Joshu Kaisei or Kasei. I don't know how like quickly you're supposed to like jump between the two ones because there's like a line in between. I don't know.
What show is it from?
Psychopaths. So
Ah.
this character starts off as just sort of, you know, think that they're a slight mean enforcer. It's a bad system, but they don't seem to be like. They seem to be like strict but fair, you know. Slightly like a bit too strict with rules, but you know, not bad. But then it turns out the bad system that they're a part of, they're actually part of the decision-making process. And the more we find out, the more we realize they are like an even worse part of this bad system. This bad system, they're like the like, you know, if they're part of the government, this is like the most fucking evil part of the government, let's say, just as a simile. This isn't the person who wants to keep people in their homes because, you know, it keeps them safe. This is the person who wants to keep people in their homes whilst sending troops into like random homes and just shooting people to keep the population down.
Right.
Yeah. So that was just like an example of comparative value. I don't remember that happening specifically, but this system basically, this society basically hates people with psychological problems, and people who are deemed too dangerous or too psychologically disturbed, regardless of what they actually do, are put down. Now, some people who the system deem as psychologically dangerous but also valuable, they are actually brought into the government. And so this person steers the law enforcement in their own image, apart from the other government, just fucking not caring about the rest of the government, and basically enforcing their own ideals upon the entire society. What's a good example of what they do?
Well,
They
from
send
real life.
loads. They send loads of law enforcers to their death, forcing them not to use lethal weapons because they consider what they are doing, what the person they're hunting, to be too valuable to kill. They also send a bunch of people to basically be injured in like a suicide mission because they don't really care if they succeed or not. Uh, and they also have a psychopath of a son who makes other people insane. And instead of, you know, teaching him the right way or something, just you know, continue to encourage him to do his worst, basically fucking ruining their own colleagues because they think, you know, it's fun. So yeah. Just to quickly specify also, this is like the main antagonist from both seasons.
Oh, okay, okay. So he's like a I don't know how to compare him.
It's a she, or at least at first. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So they both do they actually like commit physical crimes themselves, or is it purely political?
Oh, that's a good question. I think they did, at least in their backstory. Um, but as far as I'm aware, they don't do that much that we get to see, like themselves. They just order most people to do stupid things.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I haven't seen the show. What about you, Bluxy? Probably not. Too old.
No. How old is it?
I don't know.
Uh, uh,
2015. Way too
Oh,
old.
way too
it was
old. Way too old.
14, I think, 14.
Oh, that's even older.
Yeah,
That's new in
older,
2020.
older than you, Blucksy.
Yeah.
It
Bluxy
is,
was
it
born in
is.
2019.
I
Bluxy was
was
born.
born when I started watching anime.
Yeah. Literally.
I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see an anime until I was already a weeb.
Well, sounds like a good pick. At least I have not much to say.
Yeah, so just to summarize, basically everything in society that like happens, this person helped make it that way, and they're also actively making it worse. So yeah, I think they basically embody the worst of society in a sense in that show, in a way.
That is one way to spell Jaeger. Wow. I mean, I looked it up and apparently there's like two ways of spelling it. And I'm
Yeah,
pretty confused about it.
did we just whatever? We just mentioned that, but
That was
Blucksy,
earlier.
Yes, number three. The best number three you'll ever see.
number
Um,
3.
I put Roswell from ReZero, especially like the second season. It gets revealed how
Which
much
which one is
control.
this?
Roswell.
Which one?
Yeah,
He's the clown.
oh, the one that they stay at in season 1.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, explain
basically
your reasoning.
it's two L's, not two A's. I spelled it wrong. Um,
Wait, it's two what now?
two L's, not two A's. I spelled it wrong.
No,
Okay.
there's 2 A's.
Is there two A's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
This is
spelled it
this
wrong
is the
incorrectly.
this is the full name. So there's second L, but that's later.
Okay. So basically, he made like Subaru do all the suffering he had to go through, which means he's basically got like 15 kills on Subaru, which is very evil. And
I'm not sure if that counts as. I'm not sure that's how that works.
he instigates the murder of an entire village like 4 times, all in the name of following a book to gain personal satisfaction from serving his witch.
I've only watched season 1, and it doesn't. He seems a bit sketchy, but he doesn't seem to do that much evil stuff. Do you have an example of like one of the more evil things he does?
Um, I guess it's a slight spoiler, but you know the assassin Elsa
The one that
at the very
like
start in the shack.
yeah, the one that hangs out with yeah.
He's the one who hired her to kill Subaru and Amelia.
Pretty
Why?
evil man.
Like,
To
but what did he? What did he gain?
force Subaru to develop in another run to like develop into a better Subaru.
Oh, so he's aware of the time loop.
Yes.
That's cool. He also has Orochimaru eyes, which I didn't really notice until now. Or at least one of his eyes looks like them.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. Um, as to how evil they are, I don't know. They're a bit evil.
You'd have to watch season 2 in it.
Yeah.
I have watched season two.
You thought it was all a filler, so
Well, it's largely filler based on like it just gives
no.
background. It doesn't give foreground, you know?
There is development.
Yeah, but like no plot.
The plot is development.
Yeah, but like no like important stuff that happens, you
Okay,
know?
but let's be honest. Season one also has like loads of random events happening, and then they repeat for a bit, and then it just something
Season
else
one
random
is
happens.
way more closer to the plot than season two is.
But
Like,
it's so there's so little like connection between the things that happen in the story. It's just they do like a little time skip, and then we get to the event that
well, they
he
were
will
like
have to figure
introducing
out.
the whole like dying scenario and that type of thing.
Yeah, but like even when after he goes to Roswell's house, he just fights a dog or something for like 5 hours, and then it like we go to the fucking choosing the queen thing, which also has a time skip. There's a lot of time skips, like smaller time skips that don't, we don't see what happens, but we basically only connect with the characters in season one when like time loops are happening.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But
So
I don't know. I don't think he's that much of a villain. I guess that's my problem here. I just
more of
you
an
see it somewhere.
antagonist, or just a
Well,
good
he's an
person in general.
antagonist for season two specifically. Before
Hmm.
and after, he's not even an antagonist. So I don't
Behind the
know.
scenes, he was working as a villain.
He was
I mean,
being a bit of a weirdo,
he did order an assassination on two people.
knowing that they wouldn't actually die.
I mean, Emilia could have died.
If anything, he indirectly killed the assassins.
I
I don't
mean,
think Elsa did survive, right? She just
uh,
left.
second season things.
Ah,
But like, sure, he knew they'd come back. However,
It wasn't great, but it's like, that's such a small stint of, okay, you're a villain, a little bit, for this part of the
if like
story.
Subaru just ran away, Amelia would have died, and nothing would have reset it.
Yeah, sure, but like, Subaru would have to be would have to be an awful person to do that, come on.
Hey, if I know I'm just gonna die if I do something, I'd rather save my own life.
Now, Roswell, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He had it all figured out. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. Come on.
He had an evil, maniacal plan, and
No,
then
he had a torturous plan. Slightly different.
is torture not evil?
Hey, if you look at the bigger picture, all can be forgiven.
If I look at the bigger picture,
Hey, it's pretty evil, but I don't think it's like enough to call him as evil as the other guys.
I think he is extremely evil, but we should probably move on.
yeah, I would have to agree with Blucksy here. It's very evil.
Hiring an assassin, am I right?
Alright,
Yeah,
kind
I
of.
don't know anything else he did. So yeah,
Alright, I'll do my own number three. Let me look up what
number
my number three
three.
is. Why did why did you randomly send me a character, Jacob?
What do you
Why'd
mean?
you randomly
It's a
send me a
villain.
character?
They're different characters, by the way. Yeah, it's good characters.
Okay. Well, my number three is another character from Fate Zero, the actual best villain for Fate Zero. In fact, the reason why Kirei is even considered to be as evil as he is Gilgamesh.
Is he though?
Mm.
Yes, he was constantly driving Kirei to betray the guy he was cheating with.
Okay, just prepare for me to argue that he's an antagonist, not a villain, but feel free to let me know when I can do that.
I mean, he's the only reason I guess he's a villain is because if he's put in a situation where I guess like
I mean,
in Fate Zero he'll just
yeah,
put
I mean,
a
Fate Zero, I would consider him an antagonist. If you want to claim in the other ones he's not, I mean, sure, I
I
would
mean
agree
in
with
the other
that.
ones he's not, but even in Fate Zero he's constantly like asking Kirei to betray someone, like trying to tempt them, you know. Like it's clear Gilgamesh isn't a neutral guy at least. He's at least somewhat evil, I would say. Would you not?
I mean, okay, I will give my 2 cents, but please just explain the character first to the audience.
So Gilgamesh is one of the historic quote-unquote heroes in the Fate Zero story there, where you get the whole battle royale. Heroes face each other. Every hero needs to have a like a current. I'm not gonna say I shouldn't say holder, but like a master, if you will. But they're not by definition quote-unquote their master. It's just kind of how the rules work. And Gilgamesh makes Kotomine Kirei uh, basically like betray another master. Kirei himself is one of the masters as well, and then Kirei goes on to be a very 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 evil man, but very 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 much so led by Gilgamesh. In terms of what he does himself, he just kind of doesn't do anything too evil. He's just kind of like a perfect example of an egotistical leader, if anything, and believes he deserves all of the world's prosperity, pretty much. But
Yeah, I
he's a
mean,
respectable leader at times.
In Blade Works, he literally tries to end the world, which is probably a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
as you say, I guess this is only rumor, like what do you call it, a hypothesis? Hypothesis? Yeah, I can't speak
hypothesis.
English. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's said that after Zero, he is influenced by quote unquote the evil or whatever it's called. Uh,
Um, oh, Blucksy redeemed hydration gun, by the way.
uh,
But yeah, yeah. Angry Manju does affect him, but yeah. So if we go into non stuff that doesn't happen in the show, or at least not shown to us, we can also say that Gilgamesh is probably one of the first heroes in history, and he also was forged by a few different gods actually. So he's more than a demigod. He's like 2/3 god and 1/3 human. And they forge him because they want him to be an anchor, because the gods see their power waning, but then Gilgamesh turns on them and basically forces the gods to stop affecting the world because he believes in free will. And this can actually be seen in Fate Zero, where he basically, as Andrew says, he does encourage Kiri to do things, although from my point of view, he encourages him to enjoy his free will, and also, since Kiri is such a suppressed priest, he doesn't even believe in his having own happiness through doing good deeds. Whereas in Gilgamesh's point of view, you should be free to explore your own ideals. Humanity should be free, unbound from the shackles. And he basically he only actually encourages Kiri to kill his own master when he realizes that when Kiri tells him that his master is going to order him to kill himself through a means which Gilgamesh cannot avoid. So, in a sense, Gilgamesh only encourages Kiri to do what he feels is right, and once we actually look it through that point of view, we can actually see that Gilgamesh actually helps the good guy team against Caster, and he does fend off Berserker a few times, and the only really sort of arguably evil thing is that he's kind of a bit gross towards Saber in a sort of somewhat predatory way, although he doesn't do anything. He just says creepy shit like, join me in my bedchamber, and you're most beautiful when you are distraught. So I don't know. I feel like he's definitely an antagonist rather than.
okay. Yeah, in Fate Zero he's only, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
He's only really an antagonist, not that evil. In
And
Fate
if you
Zero.
see it as sort of a more Christian metaphor, I guess he's sort of the encouraging Kiri to eat the apple of knowledge. But he's also, as we stated, he's also, I think in Stay Night he basically beats everyone up, and in the other one, Blade Works, he literally tries to end the world due to Although fending off the evil, or angry manager as it's known, which is the spirit of the Holy Grail. It's a complicated show. He does get affected by it over time, which makes him physically weaker, but also more intentionally try to do evil, which he does through try to basically fill the world with acid, sort of, or something very akin to acid. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe potentially I shouldn't have not have included him here.
Well,
I'm not too sure.
it's all about perspective, really. And if you change your perspective based on my argument, that shouldn't really affect your list, because this is our pure opinions, and then we'll discuss it afterwards. The discussion is the content. The list isn't the content.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
and he's also a very good
Everyone,
character, which
In
at
general,
least in
yeah.
Zero. In Zero, he's a good character, and that's in my opinion, he's a good character in Zero, and therefore I respect your opinion putting him this high, because you said that you evaluate both as villains and characters, and he definitely is an opposing force, and also creepy, and what's it called, a good character in Zero. So yeah,
Yeah, there we go. All right, we can head over to your number 2 then.
yay! Blucksy, did you have a comment? Sorry, you sound like you were beginning to say something.
no, we're good. We're good.
Are you sure?
Just chilling.
Yes. Wake up to reality.
No,
Nothing.
you don't have Madara. No, you don't have Madara. Go on.
No, it's this character. And you probably don't know them by their name, but if you look the picture up, you might recognize them.
I feel like I recognize the name.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
This is a character from Overlord.
Oh yes, I know who they are.
From Overlord. Okay, I'm happy you
Um,
didn't go for the
Oh
main character.
yes,
I
yes.
can't avoid spoilers here. So, spoiler warning for anyone watching.
Oh, her. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hinted at early on, but I kind of need to get into specifics. So, spoiler warning. Hopefully, it's fine. But yeah.
She's
So yeah,
so evil.
Yes.
she starts off just doing sort of evil smiles, and then trying to like circumvent her siblings to, well, kind of her father as well, to be able to advance her boyfriend, and also kind of make him her husband. And After a while, it's sort of revealed, after being kind of hinted at before, but that she is um, behind a lot of the tragedies that befall the kingdom that her father runs.
Yeah, she's definitely does anything for her.
Her
Her
ideal situation with her boyfriend.
yes. What's his name? Spring something.
Climb, I think it is.
Climb. Yeah,
Such a dead name,
anything
Jesus
for
Christ.
climb.
So,
Climb.
so one of her ideas is he will be poisoned, and she will nurse him, but not make him better, because she just wants to have him for herself and not actually care. Another thing she does is sell information and coordinate with the demons, on the basis that they're not allowed to harm Climb, which they accept. It's also not confirmed, but I kind of believe that this is the case, that she sort of goads her oldest brother into a death trap as part of the deal with the demons. Um, she then also, fuck, I don't remember what happens to the middle brother, but I think she also. Oh yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, she basically pretends that she's on his side, whilst actually just making him like a target for their enemies, their kingdom's enemies. Um, which previously leads to war and eventually leads to his death um, in the Second War, which causes untold human suffering and not just soldiers, although a lot of soldiers do die. The kingdom offers to surrender a bunch of times, but the 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 demons don't accept. They continue the war, indiscriminately slaughtering people, and then we eventually find out that she wanted to become a demon and make her boyfriend a demon, so they could live forever as demonic servants of the overlord Ein Sulgown, as basically ageless beings, which when she could have him all to herself, and in the process she also kills her father and makes uh, makes him climb her boyfriend think that she's all helpless and just forced into this situation, but actually she just has a kink to have him think she's helpless or something. So yeah, uh, kind of a horrible person. Quite a mastermind, really. Definitely evil, in my opinion. Not
Will,
really the main villain ever in the show, but definitely up there.
willing to put millions of bodies between to get just for a bit of closer relationship.
Yeah, and it seems like even though her father and brother give him like advances her boyfriend's career, it doesn't seem to be enough to just marry him. She also wants him kind of under her thumb whilst he is still,
Yeah, you could
yeah,
consider him wanting no, her wanting him to be his pet.
uh, her to what,
Climb want Renna wants Climb to be Renna's pet.
yeah, or puppet or whatever. But she also doesn't want him to know that. She wants him to believe that he is still, doing the
By,
right thing and stuff. She
by the
doesn't want
wayside.
him to, yeah, she doesn't want him to be evil. She wants him to be the same that he is, but just forever under her thumb, basically.
By the wayside. It seems like you gotta change your number one, considering Derp in the chat.
Wait, Derp, is it? Wait, and I gotta ask him a question.
Don't disappoint Derp.
No, I'm just trying to think what shows we watched and which villain it
What?
could be.
Who is him? Yeah.
Hey, I made this list. Well,
While you try to figure that out.
Full
he
Metal Alchemist.
he is him. But that doesn't that doesn't mean if.
I guess there's only two people in Full Metal Alchemist that could even be considered,
But it may not
and that's
necessarily
that's
be.
Bradley and the fucking Philosopher's Stone man. I don't remember his name though.
While Side tries to figure this out, I'll go on to my next one if that's all right.
Yeah.
Number two.
Is who are they? Oh yes, Acto Soma from the Fruits Basket.
Sorry? What call him?
Akito
Oh,
Soma.
this is what I thought you said. I'll just type it out what I thought you said.
Oh, is that the like creepy older one?
Creepy older one? What?
This is what I
Oh,
thought you
not
said.
older one, but like the creepy one, you know?
Mm,
Like the weird
yeah,
one. Oh
what?
yeah, it is. Okay, it's
But
that
you're
one. Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Go on, go
okay,
on.
okay, okay. So basically, he's this dark person who's just he doesn't do like super evil things, but he's got like a great character. He doesn't kill anyone, but he's basically just manipulating his entire like extended family to ensure that they stay with him rather than letting go and moving on and being independent. And he acts as a force that goes against the main character, name I've forgotten, who basically just wants everyone to be free and happy.
Oh, so he's a communist. That was a dig at Derp, by the way.
Wow, that's not nice. I'm not gonna lie, I've realized that my list
I
is a
think
bit of
that's
an
fine.
L. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
I didn't actually watch that much into Fruits Basket, so I don't know who this is, so I can't really comment.
I watched a season and a half, so you know I can definitely vouch that this person is very, 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 very evil. They don't commit
They're
like the
very
biggest
evil at the start.
crimes, but
Yeah,
What is their motivation? Is it personal reason or is it more
personal.
greater good?
They want to keep the connection between all the like family.
racism, egotisticism. That's a new word, by the way.
We see.
That's all about you. That's the kind of guy. It's all about them.
It's all about you.
In like the final season of it, kind of suppose you get a lot of development into like how he he's just like a child who just never got to develop, and he just doesn't want to let go because of that.
It does
No, well,
definitely seem like it. I won't lie.
that's kind of a tragic, although I see. I like that. That's a very human. That's a very human sort of villain. I do like that.
You know, I've thought about an honorable mention. What about the guy that in Fullmetal Alchemist, the guy, not the main bad guy, just the random dude, in like episode 2 or 3 or 5, I don't know what it was to be honest. There's a dude that like does alchemy to combine his dog with his daughter, and then it's this like sad being that's like
I
that
don't
like
remember
dies.
that, but to be fair, it's been like a billion years ago. So
So yeah, that dude's pure evil, but not an interesting character, so nobody cares. But that's like a case of like, wow, can't believe you did that. That's evil. Um,
Dive, you're number two.
my number two. I'm just annoyed because I'm still not sure which character, quote unquote, he is. So I'm just
yeah,
gonna go on with my list that I have here already. So I'm not gonna make any adjustments. So this list is pretty shonen based. I'm not gonna lie. But it's Ukiura Schiffer
just
from
FYI,
Bleach.
Fate is not a shonen.
Yeah, but it's like action, you know. I mean, like,
Okay, yeah, okay. Mhm.
it's pretty close. It's
What
pretty
is
close.
that? How that's spelled? Jesus,
What do you mean? How'd you think it was
I
spelled?
never knew. I not with a Q.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, Ukiura Schiffer, a hollow in the world of
Is it
Bleach.
not PH in his last name?
Uh, no, it's
Okay.
Ukiura Schiffer. He's a hollow. If you don't know what a hollow is in the world of Bleach, essentially, hollows are
If you
like
don't know, you haven't watched Bleach because they're everywhere.
shut up. Like a hollow as in that they're like monsters. I think it's dead people that don't end up going to like heaven essentially. They end up just becoming a hollow in a different universe essentially. But the way hollows he eat is they go back to the real world, the world of the living, if you will, and they eat humans, and that's how they survive. And they're also capable of growing, becoming more stronger by eating each other actually, or other strong beings. I think for that, I don't think it matters. Just strong things. As long as you eat strong things, you'll get stronger. And Ulquiorra is one of the strongest hollows, joining the Espada. Espada being the top 10 uh, strongest hollows essentially.
In Lost Notches, anyway.
Yeah, in that separate universe called Los Noches. And essentially, this character is not actually that evil. They're evil in the sense of they follow a certain man to every extent, and therefore they end up committing a bunch of crimes. Um, but a lot of it is actually not that bad, especially because considering they're a hollow, the way they survive is by eating humans, which obviously is exactly the same thing that we do with animals. So just by eating humans, they're not technically evil, but they do a lot of bad stuff, following their leader. I say a lot. It's not like terrible, but and they try to like minimize uh, their own crimes, but they'll definitely like listen to their leader to know like he'll not really like suppress himself or anything. He'll listen to everything. Even if he can make it not as bad, he'll try to, but it's not like he's intentionally making sure that he's not doing anything bad. He will just do something bad if it needs to be happened. But in terms of yeah, so their evilness is not that bad. So in that sense, that's not really the biggest reason why they're on here. It's more so their character, which is interesting. I
Also, they're
am
very cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. If you look them up, they have a pretty nice design. But every hollow has sort of a hole in like their body, um,
Mainly in their chest, yeah.
mainly in their chest. Yeah, but I think this one. Let me just make sure. Their hole is right under their neck. I think it is right in the middle. So not quite in the chest. I don't remember if there was a reason for that. But generally speaking, they're like a pretty lonely, stoic character that don't really understand the idea of emotions and feelings, as opposed to all the other hollows that have kind of ascended to this kind of power. They turn into more sentient beings, much more like when they were actual humans. When you turn into a hollow at first, you're kind of like a monster, but the more you get stronger, you kind of uh, it depends on which hollow, but the more you kind of turn humane. But this person, even though they've definitely shown that they're a sentient being, you don't really show emotions that often. So more of a logical being, and they attempt to understand emotions and that kind of stuff because they don't see the logic behind kindness and all that, other than to get benefit from other people. But so just pure hearted kindness, they don't really seem to understand. So they attempt to do so, and their story arc is quite nice. The way their story arc ends is really really interesting. So I guess I won't really explain what happens at the end, but he just generally speaking tries to understand human kindness, and if you want to find out how his character progresses to the end, you should definitely look at it. The way his character arcs just kind of ends is like perfect in the sense of what is like goal is in the story, which is basically trying to understand kindness, because he absolutely doesn't when you first meet him. So yeah, there's that. That's
Yeah, man.
Ukiora.
Cool dude.
Yep. What in terms of like what bad stuff he does, he just kills a lot of people in it. Yeah, he doesn't necessarily betray anyone because he's a pretty loyal being, but yeah, he just kills people in it. So
Yeah,
that's my
man.
number two.
It's pretty cool. Before we go on to number one, let's do some shout outs to people in chat. Amhada. Amha. Why? Okay. Why is the M before? Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just
Matza
do your number one pick, Jacob.
23. Derpy Fire and Blucksy, and also, of
Oh,
course,
thanks.
Moggy, our favorite streamer and favorite person,
Uh,
and we should play more games with him.
Jacob, do your number one.
Okay. My number one, you could say, is kind of a hero in a sense. Kind of, let's say like kind of he puts everyone in a certain light. He could say that he uses all his power for one thing. All for one in a sense. And of course, I am talking about. Let's just quickly copy his name here. There we are. Most powerful person.
And who's the most powerful person?
Here we are. You'll probably have to look up a picture of them to know who they are.
Speak it. Say it.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if Andrew types it into the thing.
I typed
No,
it in.
that's the grandpa from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm just kidding. Lol. It's actually Light Yagami from Death Note.
Wow. Angie, you just got played.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, gonna give you up. No, yeah,
Right, strike.
have any. Andrew, I'm fairly sure, has watched Death Note. Blucksy, have you watched Death Note?
No, I have not watched Death Note.
Okay, so general premise will probably explain why this character is my top pick. So, our main character, Light Yagami, goes to school, is kind of bored one day because he feels like, he's at the top of the system, but the system doesn't really, it doesn't really benefit him. It's not bettering anything. It's just, him spinning his wheels in the dirt, basically. But society isn't getting any better. And then suddenly he gets a special little notebook, which he realizes that if he writes a person's name in the book and also thinks of their face and writes in specified death conditions that don't apply until as long as they apply within a fortnight, that will happen. And if the conditions are impossible, it will be killed with a heart attack. Same thing happens if there's no uh, intention specified. So, Light Yagami basically decides that since society is so bad, he will start killing people with his little notebook. Starts off with criminals and starts with the most evil of criminals, and then he sort of works his way through the rest of them. Eventually, he starts developing a god complex, and when I say eventually, it's episode 2, and he decides to challenge the police when they decide that, this is not on, guys, reform and shit. So he starts killing people who come after him, and when he realizes that there are a few people who avoid trying to be killed by him, that just makes him even more, delusional in a sense. And eventually he kills. What the fuck is that? He he kills people he's supposed to be close to, but he realizes that his ideals, in a sense, which put him on a pedestal, sort of break if you look at it too hard, because he if he kills murderers, technically he's one, so he should be killed, but he doesn't. Yeah. So he turns into sort of a hypocrite, and yeah, I think he kills about. I think Film Theory did a video, but ballpark number, he kills about 100 people a day, um, as on a normal day. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great villain.
I agree too. I agree.
Yeah, Blucksy is someone who hasn't watched the show. But yeah, Light Yagami doesn't need much of an introduction. Goated show. I think everyone can agree who's watched it. So I don't have any complaints.
who the fuck is Lobovi?
Don't worry about Lobovi. Right, was that all you wanted to say about Light Yagami?
Well, yeah, I guess someone might think that you can't be a villain and a protagonist,
Absolutely can, mate.
and to that point, I basically say that, um, like, in a sense, morality is a spectrum, but a villain doesn't necessarily have to be evil. as long as they do evil things. Which point is, regardless if you think Light is evil, he definitely does evil things.
Yeah.
Same thing goes. Same thing goes for like any character in that situation. Like what's his face? The guy from Overlord, Einstein Gone. So,
He's a boring character. He's pretty standard.
Blucksy #1.
My number one is not necessarily a person. They're more of a thing,
Hey,
but they are.
more of a symbol
the Ginyu Force.
to dispense justice against the evil. Batman.
They are.
Du-du-du-du-du.
It's not Batman, unfortunately. They are the archive from Vivi's Fluorite Eye Song.
Oh,
I
I've
have
put
no
Yagami.
clue about this show, but okay.
Basically, without spoiling too much,
I feel like you can spoil a bit because we kind of need a bit of context here.
yeah, I'm going to give some context, but without spoiling as much as I can prevent spoiling. It basically, at the start and the end, goes on a massive killing spree, which forces the main characters to have to deal with it. But the reason for it going on its killing spree, it's basically just very good character because it just like doesn't like the fact all the humans are just treating the AIs like slaves.
The premise of the show is an AI named Matsumoto appears before Vivi, the world's first autonomous humanoid AI. Matsumoto's mission is to rewrite history together with Vivi in order to stop the war between AI and humans that will happen a century later. That's the entire description.
Happens.
Like what genre is this?
It is.
There's 5 here in what is the main genre, would you say?
What are the 5 it gives? Where is it?
Action, drama, music, sci-fi, thriller.
It's kind of sci-fi. I think sci-fi fits it best.
Okay.
But a lot of the stuff just described about it basically reveals a lot of the plot.
Okay. So would you prefer not saying then?
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Do you wanna know mine instead?
It does have the thing, right, of believing greater good rather than personal goal. I assume, based on your description, it sounds like it anyway.
It doesn't really have either, it's just neutral.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to watch it to find out.
It was a popular anime when it released.
You guys want to do like a quick thing after we're done, where we'll just say like who has the most evil list?
No.
Are you running out of time, Andrew?
Yep.
Fair enough.
You wanna know my number one?
Yes.
Well, he's a great character. He's actually on this list.
On my list, possibly.
On this list. And they go by the name of Light Yagami.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It was an obvious choice. Come on, it was an obvious choice. This is the one choice where I didn't really have to think too much about it. I don't know. I want to know, Derp. Was yours like what you call it, Bradley, like the evil source of Fullmetal Alchemist? Was that the one that you were thinking of that I should have put on
Bradley
there?
wasn't the evil source though. He was the Führer, but he wasn't the main.
Who were you thinking of then, Derp? I can't really. Finland Saga guy? Which one?
More evil than fucking Light Yagami. Okay.
No, but like who? Which one? Which one's so evil in Vinland Saga?
Yeah, exactly. If there's not an obvious thing, if Andrew can't even think of like the one person you're referring to.
Ashalad isn't that evil, so he shouldn't get on there. A good character? Well, yeah, him. Yeah, he's not a villain. I'm sorry, I don't like. I guess he, at least not for his time. If he like lived nowadays, he might be considered such, but he probably would be different. Like in the time where he plays, he wouldn't be necessarily considered that evil. I would say.
Hey,
Like he's just like a standard warrior at the time in terms of like morals.
what are these specifications?
Well, they're like Vikings times in it.
What the
Well,
specifications for villains? We wrote up some, or I did, and then we sort of all agreed on them. On the specifications for villains beforehand.
yeah. Well, I think you guys should have a private conversation. I have to go right now, so I gotta go.
No, wait, Andrew.
I
Quickly,
gotta
before
go.
we go.
Okay.
Quickly before we go, I need to sing a song.
All right. What's
I
the song?
walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. That's it from us, from Anime Chatterday this Saturday. We'll be back some Saturday in the future.
Some Saturday.
Good night, Europe and other people.
Cybe Industries signing out.
So baby, can you feel like